Welcome to Authors Alcove. This is our Strength, Love, and Healing series. I am your host, Agnes Wolfe. Today, I have Adelia Elgarat, author of the memoir, You Are Allowed, and she is also a guided autobiography instructor. She hopes to empower others on the transformative writing journey towards self-forgiveness. The message she hopes others get from her book is to forgive yourself first, love yourself first, and above all, respect yourself first. She currently lives in Highlands Ranch, Colorado with her husband, 4 wonderful children, and their loyal companion, Aristo. Thank you for joining me, Adelia.
Thank you for having me.
Do you mind just sharing just a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm from Paris, France, and I lived in Israel I live in France for 21 years. I was born and raised in France, and then I moved to Israel. And we moved to Colorado in 2017. So I'm moving a lot.
So one of the things I noticed, it says that you're a guided autobiography instructor, or the acronym was GAB. What is that exactly?
So I guide mostly women to write their story, but in really unique way. Their memoir in a really unique way, where I provide some question to guide them, just to help them remember and write. And I also use a lot of music and videos and article and a lot of stuff to help remember. So
And what is your mission as a GAB?
I want everyone, mostly women, to write at least one book in their life, not specifically with me, because some people maybe have other solution or other guide or coach, but at least one book, please.
So
Yeah.
how has writing brought a healing in your own life?
I was adopted when I was a baby, and my adoption was kept secret. And so I didn't know my birth mom, my birth parent, and my parent, to protect me, they keep the adoption secret. And to do that, it was a lot of waste of energy and a lot of lying to keep me safe. And today I understand, but when I grew up, it was really hard. And I always find writing as a safe space, place to just express myself. And it was really a good place for me. And so, writing my story about my adoption, I forgive all the people involved, including me, for having this feeling of anger and frustration. So, yeah.
I know I adopted my oldest daughter, and it wasn't it was kind of a closed adoption, kind of open, depending on how you look at it. Her father had passed away, and her biological mother is still living, and I actually have a pretty good relationship with her. But until she was 10, we didn't allow contact for various reasons. And then I allowed contact, and my daughter has had to navigate those feelings. And that was a very big surprise to me as an adoptive mother. So I'm very curious about that sort of thing. So I hope you don't mind me asking some questions there. But
Okay. Yeah, no, no worries. I'm not crying anymore when I say I am adopted. I used to cry like just before when I finished my book, I was able to say I am adopted without crying. So go ahead.
Before we do that, though, I did want to talk about your book, You're Not Allowed. Can you share who this
You are
memoir
you
is
are
about?
you are allowed. It's you are allowed. It's my story. What happened to me when I discovered I was adopted. I started a journey to find a sense of belonging and my identity. And it was really no, it was really bad. It was not a good journey. But so I share, and also share with my husband Sharon when we went and look for my birth mom and we find her, and what she said, it was pretty impressive. And then yeah, pretty much I start really angry and I finish really happy, so there is a lot of hope, so it's good.
So this is your own story.
Yes.
Because I thought it had said that it was a memoir about Esther.
Yes, nice. So I created a really unique way of writing in my programs and when I'm writing my own stories. So I don't really like the fact that we need to be in a certain box or in certain stickers. It's your book. You need to be your first character, the main character. No, I not, because I needed to have a character, Esther, to be able to do that because it was a really deep, uh, diving into a lot of stuff. And to put that on Esther, it was like, okay, So it was really a journey with Esther, actually. It was a journey of we start together and then we go apart and at the end we go together. And it was really, really interesting. Yeah. So yeah.
How was writing this particular memoir has impacted your own feelings and your own healing?
Writing that memoir was super, wow, with a lot of good stuff and bad stuff. But I think mostly it gave me the opportunity to reflect about a lot of things, like my mother, my mom, and my daughter. I have 4 kids, but at the time I wrote that book, it took me a long time to write that book. And I had my daughter, and she was 17, 18, and it was the same age I was writing about myself at that same age. And I have my mom, and it was like really a mirror to my motherhood, to my mom, and it was really hard to navigate. But I think it's the first time I actually understood what is motherhood, what is to be a mom, and I understood my mom and my daughter and myself. So my life is totally changed since that. Yeah, so
When you
much
say
better.
when you say mom, are you referring to your adoptive mom, your bio mom, or both?
Adoptive.
Okay. Can
Yeah,
you
adoptive.
can you share some of your earliest memories or feelings about being adopted?
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. It was really, really hard. I was really sad and I was really, oh, all what it was like, I had a lot of question why and how, and it was really hard to know that, to don't actually, I didn't know anything. So it's really, really hard to don't have any more identity, or yeah, it's hard.
That
But sorry.
Oh no, you're good. Keep going.
No, it says that's why it's important to share our perspective of the story. And that's what I encourage everyone to do. It's like just put your story and not why other people think or other people perspective. It's really important to be aware of your feeling and to be expressing them, and I think by the end of the day it's more of self-acceptance and self-expression, and we need that when we are adopted, and I think we all need that.
I know as an adoptive mom, one of the things I did not realize, because you like realized it to a certain extent, but I didn't realize how it actually happens in real life, is that adoption is always bittersweet. I mean, there's this beautiful part of it, but there's also this bitter part of it, and there is no adoption that happens without trauma to somebody. And that's something I don't think people fully understand. And I knew that my daughter came to me with trauma, and I knew, but like, I don't think I totally understood how it was actually going to affect her until she started going through it and realizing that, you know, as much as she accepts me as her mom and accepts her dad as her dad, there's always part of her that, wishes that she wasn't adopted. And, like and that's okay. You are allowed to feel that way. She is allowed to feel that way. And she will say, I am glad that you were the one to raise me. But at the same time, she wishes she didn't have to have had somebody else raise her. She would have loved to have been able to be raised.
I think that today, after going through all that, and believe me, it was really not fun. But I think today I can say I'm super glad that my parents adopted me and my birth mom gave me for adoption. Yeah, but you need to kind of go through a journey to understand all that, and it's totally fine that you support her in that journey. But like you said, we have no choice, and I think just an adopted kid can understand
Yeah.
what she's going through. So, and it's hard for parents. I know.
What
Yeah.
challenge do you feel adoptive kids encounter regarding their identity? You've mentioned a little bit already.
Oh, for me, it was like I don't have an identity. I am no one. I remember it all started when people ask in the neighborhood in France, they ask my parent why I have blue eyes and blonde hair. And growing up, I look really different. And I look really different also because we grew up in a Jewish family, and I didn't look like a Jewish girl in that time in France. So I look really different, blonde, blue eyes, and people start asking questions. Wow, why she has blue eyes and you all have brown eyes, and it start to be, oh, what's going on here? And so I was looking for people looking like me wherever I was going, and it was so sad. Like everywhere. I was like, oh, a blonde woman. Maybe she's my mom. It's so sad. It's really sad. And everywhere I see a boy or a girl with blue eyes and blonde hair, I'm like, oh, maybe that's my brother. So it's really hard you don't know. And you actually, people had made choice, and you are not involved you have no say in those choices, right? So I'm actually writing a book with some woman, and that's what we are talking about in that book. Like, people made choice, but you have a choice now to decide if you are a victim or not. But yeah, it's hard. It's super hard. But today I can say, yeah, I am adopted. you know but I'm older, first of all, so it's different.
How has your understanding of adoption evolved over time from like your childhood to now?
Adoption for me, my childhood and when I was younger, it was a really bad. I don't know if I understood something. I was really, I think it was really bad. I was like, no, no, no need to do that. But today I'm really, really, I love that. And I admire people like you, that it's really amazing to like to adopt a kid. And I always dream to adopt a kid, but my husband is like, no, no, thank you. We good. But yeah, it's amazing. I really think my understanding is that it's getting better, what I see right now, but it's getting better, I think. And it's amazing. Yeah.
What have been some of the most significant challenges you've faced in coming to terms with your own adoption?
Challenges. It was a close adoption. It was a long time ago in France. And what was really annoying, it was that I didn't know anything about my birth mom. And every time I reach out, when I was 18, my dad and my mom, they said, my adoptive parents, they said, you are allowed to look for your birth mom. And so that was a chapter in my book that became my title. You are allowed to look for you. And when we started that, for me, this challenge was um, always people say she's protected by the law of France, so we cannot tell you, like, she's protected. And I always ask, and what about me? I am protected too or not? Like, so I think that was a challenge, all the secret, and also from my adoptive parent. I know today, I understand today, they want to protect me, because for them it was something really hard to deal with. They knew it was hard, and instead of supporting me in my journey of being adopted, they say it's a secret, don't tell to anyone. No one knew about that. So for me, it was a big challenge, because when I grew up, I started understanding something was wrong. It was a lot of lying. And so, yeah, I think I was so many challenges. I'm not sure anymore. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, it was a lot of challenge, actually. So I'm like, yeah.
But with it being a closed adoption, how did you go about finding your birth mom?
So when I met my husband, my second husband, Sharon, I told him I was adopted, and the first thing he said, so he shared about his mom just passed away from cancer, and I shared I was adopted. And the day after, he called me. We are going to France. We were in Israel. He said we are going to France to look for your birth mom, and I'm like, okay. And we went, and actually my birth mom, when she gave me for adoption, I was 5 day old. And she actually, I was the friends, how do you say that in English? Like I'm property, I don't know how to say that in English, but I'm part of France, like under France government, like. And so I had a number, and with that number, it was easy. It was easy to just go there to France, go to my hospital and everything. And with that number, it was like, oh, okay, no worries. So it was really, it was really quick. Actually, it didn't take so long. And yeah. So yeah, the first thing we did when I just first meet my husband, first date, second date, let's go to find your birth mom. It's great. I'm like, okay. So we find her, and it was really quick. And after a few months, we met her in Paris. Oh my goodness, it's a whole book we are talking about. Yeah, it was amazing, but I think the most important thing I can tell you as a adopted, it's that I grew up with a big hole here in my body. It was always a big, huge, and I think the first time that hole disappear is when I finished writing my book, and I met her, and it was a process meeting her and then finishing that book, and the whole is still existing but is super tiny. Instead of being big part of me, and my body is still here, but it's tiny, and I'm aware about it, and I'm okay with it, but it's not the huge part of my life anymore, and it's feeling much better. Feeling much better, yeah. So,
What do you wish that adoptive parents knew when they go into adopting a child?
oh my goodness. I have a friend that just did that not long time ago. I think to get help, or how to tell them, depending on what the kid is, if it's a little kid or toddler or whatever, or teenager. I know my mom told me before, long time ago, she told me, we told you. And I'm like, when? And she said, when you were 2 years old. I'm like, I don't remember. And so she said, but we told you also at 4 years old, but I don't remember, So for her, that was the perspective of the story that they told me. And I don't remember because I don't want to remember. But for me, it was, you never told me. And it was a secret. So I don't know. But yeah, tell them in the way they can understand, and tell them not just one day, oh, by the way, you're adopted. Okay, bye. Like, more of a conversation, or maybe writing together about that, or drawing something together, but all the journey, like not one time and okay, I'm good. So yeah.
I know one of the things that I heard when I was reading about how to tell your child, they're adopted, is that sometimes children then think that they are something, like they are adopted, that they're, not that they are adopted. And so they start to take that on as, something different than what it actually is. But my daughter knew she was adopted right away. She went to the courthouse with us. She was 5 years old. We allowed her to adopt
Oh,
her own stuffed animal. But one of the things that I'm encountering, which is similar to adoption, is that my other three children were conceived with donor eggs. And so it's very similar to adoption in that that I am not their biological mother. My husband is the biological father, but somebody who was actually adopted donated their eggs. And so they are now 5 and 7. And it's been a constant conversation that we've had, and it's not something, and that's something, I didn't just tell them when they were 2 and tell them when they were 5. It's a conversation. And I know that my 7-year-old is only now beginning to understand what I'm talking about, because like I've told her when she was 2, I told her when she was 5, and I've told her all the times in between. But my 5-year-old still, I don't think that they quite understand what I'm saying. My 7-year-old all of a sudden goes, so it's kind of like with Emily, my oldest is adopted. And I said, yes, it's kind of like that, except for, I grew you in my tummy and you are biologically related to dad. And she was like, oh, okay. But it's taken so many conversations. It was not just a one-time conversation that we've had to have for this. And I imagine it's very similar when you are adopting an infant, that you need to have it be a perpetual conversation so they can slowly process it and they can slowly understand it. Would have that helped you?
yes, yes, absolutely. And I think I know that it was a long time ago. It was another generation. It was so different. It's like I was born in 1974, so it's not the same. And I really don't know if I had adopted a kid, if I would know what to do. I hope so, but I don't know because I didn't.
And I figure we're all going to make mistakes, there's
For
no
sure.
way of knowing exactly how your child needs to learn. And, it's just a process. And I think a lot of it is just paying attention to your child and understanding and accepting the fact that, like if being adopted is hard for them, because some kids, are okay with it, but there's a many, many who may not even verbalize it, but giving them that space to be able to say, this really sucks. And try not to let your
Exactly.
heart, because
Exactly.
I know my oldest, she went through a period where she would openly tell me, she was like, I wish you weren't my mom, like she would say that, but not necessarily. The thing is I don't think she ever meant it the way that it came across. And now today she's like, yeah, she goes, you're 100% my mom. This other person is not my mom. She is somebody who helped create me. I care about her to an extent. She goes, but when I need help, that's not the person I'm going to call.
But it reminded me of something about that, what you are saying about giving the space to just, yeah, feel what they need to feel. Because I felt so sad and so really, it was really hard. I didn't know what to do. I was scared and sad. And I remember my reaction was really bad. Was really yelling and telling my mom, so many stuff I regret, but like I say, I forgive myself. But it was really hard. Like, who are you? you know. Um, and I think when I wrote that book, You Are Allowed, and my daughter Danielle was going through the same, and she was yelling, and she's not adopted, right? And she was yelling, I hate you. And then my husband actually told me, he told me, it it's like a little bit like you are writing right now in your book. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And he said, do you remember why you were so mad and say so much horrible stuff to your mom? And I'm like, he didn't say that like that, but my English is not that good, so I'm trying to translate. So and and I told him because I was afraid, and it was really hard. So he said that's exactly what she's going through. Even though she's not adopted, she's afraid. And when I saw her and I give her that space and I put my ego in my pocket and I saw her for being, yeah, scared, everything changed and my parenting changed. And I actually saved my relationship with my daughter and with my mom, by the way. And so it was amazing, the transformation, because yeah, to be in front of your daughter and she said, I hate you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill her. you know, first reaction. And then I'm like, okay, she's afraid. But I think it also allowed me to understand my mom as a woman, because I never thought about my mom as a woman. And it's super interesting what I see now with a lot of women I met and also men. I always asking them, you know, I said, you don't remember yourself when you were a teenager? You know, it was so scary. Even though you are not adopted or yes adopted, this is scary. Seriously, guys. Like, and they say, oh my gosh, you're right. And also the kid, I say to the kids, they are human being with desire and all kind of other feeling. So I think to see my mom as a woman and not just as my mom, and it wasn't my ID, by the way. It was my teacher ID. When I was in Israel, I did a degree, and my writing teacher, she was asking about my mom, and I'm like, "Oh, you don't understand. I am adopted." And she said, yeah, I know, but I want to know about your mom. I'm like, but you don't understand. I am the poor victim here. She said, I don't, okay, good, but I want, so that's how I get to actually go and know my mom. And my mom passed away not long time ago. And I had, it was amazing before, because when I finished my book, I talked with her and I told her what I'm like, okay, I finished my book. She doesn't really, she didn't care about writing a book. Like, she did love books and she read all the time, but she didn't really care about me being writer. Like, it was like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm like, okay, good. But, but I think I have the opportunity to explain her why I did that, and she says she understands. She says she's sorry for her mistake, and I say I'm sorry too. And we kind of get to that relationship we never had. And I think 1 or 2 months after, she felt and she passed. And so we have few months where I calling her every day, and it was that relationship I wanted all my life. So I get that chance because of that book.
It's
So
wonderful. I'm glad to hear that.
yeah.
So, if you could give one piece of advice for those who are trying to heal from like past wounds, as adaptive or other, what would that advice be?
Write a book. No, write your story, not specifically, like, if you don't want to publish on anything, it's okay, but write, because I think to be able to express yourself as what you are feeling, you need to see my first manuscript of the book. It was like, oh my gosh, all the beautiful word in English, the F, the P. Anyway, it was really a mess. But I think put that out, like just put that on paper. And I never saw a piece of paper judging me. They never say, "Oh my gosh, it's so bad, stop it." So it's a safe place where you can just put whatever you want with no judgment and not perfectionism, because a piece of paper will never complain about it. So you are safe.
I like that. A piece of paper will never complain. I like that. Well, anyway, thank you so much for chatting with me, Adelia.
Thank you.
I also want to thank my listeners. If you have been listening for a while and have not yet done so, please go in and rate my podcast on the podcast that site that you like the most. Again, I had the privilege of talking with Adelia Elgarat. She is the author of You Are Allowed, a Memoir. You can purchase them through the links in the show notes, as well as her website, adeliaelgarat.com. Thank you again, Adelia.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us in Authors Alcove, the Writing Corner. We hope today's discussion has inspired and informed your writing journey. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review to help us reach more writers like you. And remember, we are brought to you today by the letter S, as in Scrivener, your partner in crafting and organizing your story. Again, if you would like to support me through Patreon, that is always appreciated. You can find both of these links in our show notes. You can also listen to us at Authors Alcove, the healing place, where authors share about their books on healing and recovery, or Authors Alcove, the reading nook, where we talk about fantasy, sci-fi, and the occasional horror. Until next time, keep writing, keep creating, and we'll see you back in the writing.